One of the skills that we need to do this chapter is to be able to calculate pH and to calculate H plus. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the pH given the H plus concentration. And so we can do that. And so we have a series of concentrations. Let's say we have H plus, and I know what the concentration is, and it's 1.5 times 10 to the minus fourth. And let's say we had 3.2 times 10 to the minus eighth. And let's say we have 6.4 times 10 to the minus 2. And we have to be able to put this in our calculator and be able to get the appropriate answer. And so now, generally speaking, on most calculators, what you do is you're going to find, I'll give you an example here, you will find a special minus key. Sometimes it's in parentheses, sometimes it's not, but it's not the minus key that's above or below the plus key. Okay, it's not the same thing. And so then you find the LOG button, and then you enter in your 1.5 times 10 to the minus 4. Okay, and on a lot of calculators, you will actually replace the times 10 part, just the times 10 part, with the double E key. So you would actually say special minus key log 1.5, find your double E key, and then use your special with the minus 4. So I'm going to put this in my calculator, and you should try it on your calculator and make sure you can get the same answer. So I'm going to go special minus 1.5. I'm going to go second on my key, EE double E. That pulls up the times 10. And then we're going to special minus 4. And I get, let's see, the second here, minus log 1.5, second EE to the minus 4, close parentheses, and I get 3.8 for my first answer. And I can do the same thing. So I'm going to go with special minus key, LOG, and 3.2, second double E exponent, special minus 8, and I get 7.5. And then my final example here, minus log of 6.4, second EE, minus 2, close parentheses, and I get 1.2. Now, most of the pH problems we're going to do, your pH should be just out to 1 decimal place most of the time. That's generally what our goal is on this. Okay, so you should be able to get the same answer using your calculator, your own calculator. And so once you've done that, you're fine. Now that's how you get pH from the concentration, but it turns out, we can actually go back the other way as well. And it's a different button that we're going to use. And the opposite of any function on a calculator, such as the LOG, if you look above it, you will see 10 to the x. And the opposite on scientific calculators is usually right above the same button. And so what we want to be able to do is we want to calculate H plus from the log and from the pH. Okay, and it turns out that it's 10 to the minus whatever that pH is. And you get that 10 to the whatever you get using the button that's above it. And usually what you do is you hit second or alternate or something like that. Second will get you to 10 to the x. Okay, and so we could do the same thing like we did on a previous page, but we'll just go in the other direction, which is where we have the pH, and I want to know what the H plus is. Okay, and so we can have a series of pHs such as 3.2, let's say 7.5, and let's say 11.2. Here's a series of pHs, and I want to have the H plus. So I can go in the opposite direction, and that would be your 10 to the x key. Now, don't forget, you have to put in that minus with the pH. That minus appears just like when we had minus the log, we have minus the pH. So don't forget to put that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my calculator. And I'm going to say second, find my LOG key so I can get to the 10. And then I'm going to enter special minus 3.2, close parentheses, and I get 6.3 times 10 to the minus fourth. Now, if you get something other than a negative exponent, that usually means you left off the minus sign. Okay, so let's do that for 7.5. To try this on your calculator as well, make sure that you can use your calculator. So I go second 10 to the x minus special minus key 7.5, close parentheses, and I get 3.2 times 10 to the minus 8. You should get the same number. Okay, and my final example that I'm going to do, we're going to go second. I'm going to find that 10 to the x key right above my log key. And let's see, special minus 11.2, close parentheses, and I get 6.3 times 10 to the minus 12th. Okay, and that's how you go from pH to H+. Now our final skill is we should be able to, given a table, a very short table, we should be able to say pH, H+, and we should be able to go back and forth between these. So we should be able to say, pH of 10.3, and let's say we had an OH minus of 1.5 times 10 to the minus 10. What would we get? And so we should be able to go back and forth. And so we know that going from pH to H+, I need to 10 to the minus x, which we just did. And so we go second 10, and we do our special minus 10.3, and I get, let's see, 5.0 times 10 to the minus 11th. And now we can do the H plus to the pH, and for that one, when we go H plus to pH, we go minus the log. And so we go minus log, not tenth, not second this time, it's just the LOG key, minus log, and we enter 1.5 second EE to the minus 10th, close parentheses, and I get 9.8 for the pH. And so that's how you do it. You need to practice. You need to practice going back and forth between H plus and pH, either direction.